Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our latest installment of Solutions for Success. Today's session is going to cover Microsoft Intune and unleashing the power of this tool. The presentation will be done by John Zeri, our CEO here at Point Alliance. My name is Jonathan Hamilton. I am the president. This is a great session. I think you will enjoy it today. I know we've had a lot of interest from our clients, many of whom have dabbled or looked at Intune, others that are looking at it now from a device management perspective, from a device security perspective, application deployment, and a lot of folks looking at it now as they consider the timing of moving to Windows 11. Windows 10 support will end in October of 2025, which seems like a long way out, but really that's only a little more than a year away. And what better time to consider deploying Intune as you look at a Windows 11 deployment for your organization as well. But I won't spoil all the good content that John is going to share with you today. So without further ado, I will turn it over to him, and I hope you enjoy the session.
Jonathan, thank you for introduction. Thank you all for being here today. For reference, we are recording this session, going to be posted on our YouTube channel shortly. And again, if you're familiar with the Microsoft Intune, is a cloud-based service that enables companies to manage their endpoints, including PCs, laptop, mobile devices from the single. You know what? I think I was muted. That's why people are raising their hand. Is that right? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. You know what? Let's just go back. Okay, what's the presentation with no glitch? Again, thank you. I could have gone through the whole thing without not knowing. My apology. We are on the calls every day and you're muted. It's not getting old at all. So welcome to Unleashing the Power of Microsoft Intune. My name is John Zeri, and as you are aware, Microsoft Intune is a cloud-based service that enables companies to manage their endpoints, including PC, laptops, and mobile device from the single console. And that's what's important. So as we go through the presentation, again, my name is John Zeri. I'm at Point Alliance. I thought I'd put some of my certification on the screen too. Why not? Show them off. All right. So Point Alliance has been around. Tomorrow is our 22nd anniversary. So we are very proud of that. Very exciting. And our core competencies is a Microsoft 365 and a cloud from end to end, from adoption to the security, training, device management, power automation, and Azure DevOps. Our company, again, we take a pride in that. Our team are 100% Microsoft certified, every team member, which is a great, been a big undertaking, but we always want to be at risk of the technology and and be able to support the clients. So for today's presentation overview, Microsoft Intune, again, security is one thing, and there's lots of administrators are interested in Intune, but really bring other benefits too. So security, of course, is important. Productivity is another thing that people perhaps not consider when they move into Intune, because you're creating a consistent experience for all the users, and reduce cost because you have one portal cloud-based that you are managing all your endpoints. And the important thing is the underlayer technology, because you're using the Microsoft Azure intra security for underneath of that. Again, the future that we're going to go into, and of course going to be live too, including device management, app management, conditional access, which is important. Again, implementation is a straightforward process. I'm going to put that in a quote because obviously there are, with everything that you implement, there are pros and cons and the things that you need to consider. So we're going to go into that aspect as well. So the main benefit that of the Microsoft Intune is that you have one device management across all platforms, and there are lots of tools out there that perhaps cover maybe more on the iOS side or more on the Android side of Windows. So with this, you have everything. And some people say, well, it doesn't have the full capability of some other tools. Perhaps that might be true. Like there are tools that are focused solely on the iOS, and might not one of the what's happening that updates perhaps will not be available to the Intune as quick as a company that does iOS only. What I would say in general, when you look at it, you do have all the capabilities, and availability of the function sometimes become an issue. Securing corporate data, that's very important, because we work in the hybrid world now, right? That before the COVID, the boundaries of our environment was the office, right? So we say we protect this office and the office vaults, and it's all good, right? So everything inside is protected. You don't have to worry about it. But right now, our offices are extended to people's dining room and living rooms and the kitchen tables and so on. So the device management is becoming very important, the security of the data. So we need to protect those things on all endpoints, again, for laptops and mobile devices. And again, that's what the next item is, be able to allow people work from anywhere. The other issue with the legacy platform that they were supporting devices was that the person need to be under network or be connected to VPN, and that's not the case anymore. You know, you need to push the update, you need to change configuration, you need to push an app, regardless of where the person is and how they connected, they should be able to receive that. And that's again another benefit of Endpoint, because it's a fully cloud-based application. Improve security. Again, data encryption on the Windows devices, so which does use BitLocker. So if the device get compromised and get stolen, you know that the device is secure, and people cannot breach that the hardware, because it is secured through the BitLocker. Mobile application management. I really like this one, because again, come to mobile application management, lots of the organization, they apply a BYOD type of the policy, right? Because you're not buying mobile devices for everybody. Everybody has a laptop, but mobile devices perhaps is not. So what Microsoft has done through the mobile application management and security, the security is built and the encryption built in their apps, right? So on the iOS and Android, there are 35 plus applications that exist, which they all work very well together. And one of the issue we had in the past was also the employee didn't want to put like a company profile on their phones or those things, because it was their personal device. They didn't want something happen to their phone in case they leave that employer. So with the new method is that protection built into the apps. Once the person leaves and you kind of say the person inactive, all the company data within those apps get wiped out. Doesn't affect the functionality of the phone or the person's personal information, is all everything to do with the company. And it's very easy and effective way of the managing the security on the mobile devices. Again, we emphasize on this, which is very important, that the work from anywhere, and that's the case today. And accessing data from any device. Again, using the combination of the Microsoft Defender, two-factor authentication, conditional access, you should be able from any device anytime. And that's increased the productivity as well. Reduce cost. That's again another key decision making when you choosing device management, because the device management is all managed through the your Microsoft Intune, and it's a cloud based. And the other thing is that depends on the type of license you have. The Microsoft Intune probably included in your license. You don't even have to pay for it. So in case your organization is a sub 300 and using Microsoft 365 Business Premium, or using any of the E5 licenses, in many cases, Intune is there. Microsoft Defender is there. So again, one of the slogan that Microsoft has, and we like it, to do more for less, right? So that's the key, is that, because when you go to vendors, they always say, okay, you need this product and that product. We always say, take advantage of all that is included with your licenses, because that's the best way to go, right? And that's how another way to reduce your cost. Do I need a third-party virus protection? Perhaps not, because again, it's built into Defender, and Microsoft, when you look at the Gartner charts and so on, they're on the top quadrant as a leader of the security. So looking at the features of Microsoft Intune, provide the variety of the options such as device management, app management, and conditional access. And again, those are great. With the device management, one of the great things is that, again, in the legacy way of doing things, what we did, we built images for the devices and the hardware. One of the issues happened in recent year, shortage of hardware. So it's not like you're going to get the same hardware consistently all the time. And you cannot keep building those images for that specific hardware. Intune really doesn't care what it is. It's a Lenovo, HP, Surface, or Dell device, right? So need to be Windows 10 or Windows 11, and anything has been built in the recent years, it's all compatible. In the old days, we used to say, because implementing Intune over 8 years now, one of the issue we had was the TPM, that need to be 2.0, because the BitLocker need that. But that's not even something to consider, because that's default, and it is happening. But so latest version of the Windows, again, that's very easy to update. The only thing you need, the device need to be Pro Edition or Enterprise. So if you did buy the device you decided to go perhaps go to the Best Buy or Costco or something like that to buy a device, and you compare with the devices that your vendor provided you, or you look at the distributors, you're going to wonder, oh, it's cheaper to go there. The reason it's cheaper in many cases, because $150 price difference of the Home Edition to Pro. So if you buy the Home Edition, you need to upgrade it. So that's the price difference come in most cases. So that you need to keep in mind. You cannot enroll the Home Edition to the Intune. You need to be upgraded to the Pro version. App management is great. Again, with the dynamic groups, app management is becoming even more interesting. Let's just say you use the Microsoft 365 Office product. Some people have Visio, some people have the project, and you want to process this dynamically. You can create the dynamic groups to kind of assign that. Let's just say I'm going to give John a Visio. The dynamic group recognize that, oh, John has a Visio, and automatically it goes behind the scene as part of the Intune deployment and push the Visio application to the person's device. So all you have to do is just give them a license. You don't have to even think about other stuff. Or you buying a Acrobat the Pro Edition, you just add the person to the group, and that's all you have to do, and installation happen. Again, those require some setup, but whole idea of the automating the process and making it easy. And the other thing I like about the app management, the company portal, which we're going to go to it as well, it just make it easy, because with the company portal, what you can do, you provision bunch of application that you think your staff wants, and you put in a portal. even though the user will not have a privileged access to the device necessarily, because it's added to company portal, they can add it. Let's just say somebody need a Zoom, and what you can do, not everybody need a Zoom, some people need it. You add it to company portal, and person can install it on their own at their own convenience. Again, as I mentioned, we have a short time. I'm gonna go live and show you some of those things. Comprehensive device management, device setting management, from the security policy, network settings, software update, and that's another thing, just making sure that the Windows update is happening. So you can create those profiles to say, okay, for the quarterly update or the monthly update, how long we should wait, how long we give people the grace period. We learned that if we let the user decide when they're going to restart the laptop, that's never going to happen. So you can give them grace period. So they have 7 days to install it. We give them 2 more grace period. If they don't do it, we can set it up to kind of reboot the laptop outside of the working hours. So we call maintenance hours. So it could be anything outside 9 to 6. And you can set that one up, of course, to make sure all the devices has the latest and updates and what they do. The other thing that also has been added as of recent, drivers, regardless what hardware you have, you can actually update the drivers of the machine without them being on your network, and that's great. Compliance policy is great. You can make sure if for some reason the firewall went off or the antivirus is turned off, you get notified immediately, and those compliance. And if you like to take your security to the next level, you can say only way that a device can contact our organization, the device need to be compliant. So if the device become uncompliant, you can say you cannot access Office 5. And again, you give them some few days of grace period as well. They said, you know what, you have, again, on the best practices, they said give them 21 days to resolve some stuff, and they get reminder. And of course, IT team get reminder, so they are not left in the dark. They know as soon as the device become uncompliant, what is it, they can investigate it.
In 2019, SMBs spent $6 billion on IT, and they're looking for ways to spend that money more efficiently, like helping to make IT more productive. On the other side, 91% of employees crave modern technology solutions so they can be more productive and technologically relevant. And to make things more interesting, remote work is now commonplace, so companies need to deliver devices and support to those remote employees, wherever they are. But remote work isn't without its challenges. Maintaining device security and preventing data loss are big, because 69% of SMBs in the US have lost sensitive data in security breaches. Windows Autopilot helps companies deal with these and other common IT challenges. Users receive a new in-box device directly from the OEM or reseller partner, or a repurposed device from IT, and simply unbox it, log in, and take off. Within minutes, Autopilot automatically installs the apps and settings. IT never has to touch the device, so configuration and setup can be done from anywhere. Instead of maintaining images and handling devices, IT just sets them up in Microsoft Intune, adds any apps and settings, and chooses a setup experience for users. Partners can also register devices with Autopilot on their behalf, so users receive new in-box devices at their home, office, or even while traveling. And once employees turn on their shiny new devices, Autopilot can set them up anywhere an internet connection is available, like a hotel room. Better still, it improves employee satisfaction by requiring only a few simple steps, making their new devices ready in just minutes. That includes applying all the user, device, and app policies that IT pre-configured, like enabling BitLocker so the device is secure from the start. Windows Autopilot enables IT to deliver ready-to-go devices directly to users, frees up IT hours, and improves employee satisfaction. Get started today with Windows Autopilot.
All right, that's a bit of plug. So again, Autopilot, the great thing about the whole is that once you enroll your devices to Intune and is all set up, the next delivery is become even easier. And the whole idea is that, let's just say the person working on the document and so on, they pour a cup of coffee on their laptop, they should only lose only a minute or two of work. Once the new laptop arrives, they should be able to continue the the journey where they left it, because we're using the autopilot we're using Intune to kind of enforce things like a OneDrive. The OneDrive is in place, making sure that person logged into the browser. So that means all the bookmarks, everything is maintained. The documents constantly syncing to the cloud, so they're not losing anything. So there's a many benefit. Again, productivity is come from those settings that every organization have to do. Talks about the security. We can secure the organization and the device to not allow, because that's part of your DLP policies. So, for example, blocking writing to USB keys or moving the company data to be able to track all those things, and also through the audit login through the Defender, yeah, and the compliance, you can kind of monitor all those things on all those activities. We touched on the app management already, so I'm just going to say, and again on the conditional access. So I'm just going to go through some of this setting. Again, planning for deployment. Lots of organizations coming from the legacy system that they have these group policies, and their stuff used to be pushed through group policies. So as you're going from the on-premise method to the cloud only, it needs some upfront work to make sure look at it. The older or more mature the organization is, there are more group policies to clean up and look at it. And some of those things might be from that was created before even you join an organization. So that gets tricky, because it becomes like a good housekeeping to look at, do we need to do group policy? Are these even relevant anymore? Or the new technology already taken of those things? So that's very important that when you go through those things, you go through those processes. In order to put an Intune for a new organization that has no footprint, you can do that in 1 week. I would say for a company that's been around and has lots of legacy application, that will take a bit of organizing and analyzing the data before you go into it, and also follow the best practices. Again, deployment process, service setup, and I will share this presentation. And as I mentioned, the YouTube, of course, the edited YouTube, that my mute section is going to be removed, and setting up the policy configuration. So that's very important. When you want to lay it out, it's always good to kind of put it in a writing to say, okay, what are the apps I need? What policies do we need? What's our security policies are? What do we need to do? So organizing those data really helps, either if we decide to do that internally or work with a partner like ourselves to provide those information upfront, to kind of say, okay, what we're trying to achieve and what is our target for security that we need to have. Again, on the best practices, we follow the best practices, and we have lots of the, I keep referring, and some of you might have listened to me that talk about the Intune. We create a buffet of options within our, based of our experience of the last 8+ years of the implementing Intune, that what we presented and what we think that best practices probably get you 80% there. So you don't have what do you call it, plain canvas. You have something to start with, and we can work with you to enhance it. That said, we're going to jump to the demo. Give me a second, and gonna open the browser. So this is a Microsoft Intune, and one of the things is that at Point Alliance, we really don't build demos. We like to show how we experience it ourselves, and I think that's very important. You know, it's not some demo with some names. So everything you see, this is actually our own tenant, and we are going to go to it. So when you look at the menu, you have, of course, services, devices, apps, endpoint security, reports, and so on. So let's just jump into the dashboard, then you go there. So just by looking at the dashboard, you can look at the high level of what's happening, device enrollment, device compliance configuration, and what we have there. Then you're going to go to the all services available there. Again, with the apps or groups of those things. For those that they have Surface device on Microsoft, of course, this is a Microsoft product. They do have this Microsoft Surface service management portal, which is fantastic, especially if you do have warranty on your Surface devices and so on. You don't have to talk to anybody. You go to the management portal. It helps you with your inventory and telling you that what you have, what is coming up, is expiring and so on. And service order, you can just create a service request, not talk to anyone. And again, I would say not plugin for a Surface, but they have one of the best warranties. If you're buying like a next day service, you click on it, they don't even ask you a question. It's all linked, no matter what's happened, because it's including accidental damage. So you don't have to worry about that. Then you can just request it and it will arrive in no time. The other thing they do, they also import the new hash keys of the devices. So let's just go to devices. What kind of devices we have? Windows, iOS, Mac OS, Android, and Linux recently added. We have not really played around with the Linux one, but we have extensive experience with the other one. The other thing that also falls under Windows is if you can see on my menu here, is a Windows 365. And that's really beneficial for organizations that have remote workers, or maybe they're temporary workers. You really don't want to send them a laptop. What you want to do, you can buy the licenses for this, and just what you do, you can just send them a authentication, the login, the environment secure, and you can manage it through the Intune. So you provision this cloud PCs basically, and they come in different flavors. So in this case, that what we have is has a 8 virtual CPUs, 32 gig of memory, and 512 gigabyte. So the user can do it. Is enrolled through Intune again. It has the same security of a laptop what does, but again, the person might be there only for a couple of months. Why bother to send them a laptop? Get them to log into this. So let's just focus today on the Windows again, because we have limited time. You can see when you look at them here, you have all the devices, and you can, if you look at the OS version, you can kind of look at this. They say, okay, they're already getting updated, and some is not. So again, depends on our Windows 11, and you can see all our Windows 10, which is 10.01s, they have the same version, and all the Windows 11, which is 10.02s, they have the same version. And that's amazing, right? Because again, this all the stuff are remote, but the device is getting updated. We don't have to be there, and you can manage those things. Let me just go to, is there any football fan, but I have a user called Tom Brady. So we can look at the Tom's device and kind of look at it. Okay, they have a Surface laptop too. What kind of hardware they have. So you can look at the hardware. Again, this information get updated frequently, and you can look at all the information about that hardware. Even a MAC address to those things. Device compliance. Is the device is compliant or not? Yes. What device configuration being applied to them? And if there are any issue with those things. And again, some of them was not applicable, but they are there. Local the admin password, and that's lapsed. That's amazing, because what they do in the old days, we used to kind of have a local domain admin that if somebody got a hold of the password, because they all were same for the organization, you don't have to worry about that. This thing get updated frequently. As soon as you use it, it will replace itself in the time that you set up in your policies. So that's a great feature. Recovery keys, your BitLocker. So you don't have to worry about that. You use a third-party tool or store it somewhere. They're all here within your Intune and the user device profile. User experience, I love this thing, because what's happened, people call and complain. It's okay, there's an issue with my device. You don't have to guess now what's happening. You can look at it. Let's just say performance. This machine is good. A startup. Let's just say top 10 impacting processes. So if there was a software that was crashed last time the user, you will see the list of the software that crashed the machine. How great it is. Application reliability. You look at everything. App hung. Okay, this was July 5th. This is what's happened. What version? And was a company portal. And also working from anywhere. It's just going to tell you about the quality of the machine. And other thing is important, again, if the device would give that information, this, of course, this require a upgrade license, but you can even get to that. And a device timeline with other stuff. A device diagnostic is great, because sometimes you need to apply for warranty, and they said, send us the diagnostic, but you're not with the device. The person is not in the same location as you are. So what you do, you go to the overview on the top here, and we're going to collect diagnostic. So this happened behind the scene. So if I go to diagnostic now, it's going to say it's pending diagnostic upload. So then you can send it to the vendor for the warranty. Manage apps. We can say what apps we have pushed to the user, and if was any issue with that apps. Again, Tom is a test device, and there's some stuff that require reinstall. You can see all those things if there was any issue with that, and so on. So let's just go with the backup here, and we're gonna look at the enrollment, what you can do. So we enroll in a device. basically with the autopilot, you're creating the what do you call it? Different type of things. One is the hash key. If you buy your devices in quantity, you can get a hash key from the vendor. If it's not, you can upload the hash key. So what the hash key does, you upload that hash key to the Microsoft. So when the person laptop get connected to the network, a brand new one, you turn it on and connect, and when it goes to language, it bypasses that. So I see the fingerprint for this machine somewhere, and it's gonna go to your login page for your organization. So in our case, if the hash key was imported, when you log into the device, it says, welcome to Point Alliance, put user and password. You get to that. And of course, that experience also available for iOS devices and Android devices, by the way. Imagine you unwrap the brand new iOS device, you turn it on and say, welcome to Point Alliance, or your organization name. How great that experience is. They put in the username and password for the Microsoft one, and the device built itself. Then you put a different deployment profile, right? In our case, we have people that are administrators. We have I don't know if any of you have played around with the HoloLens. If there's a HoloLens device, development, or the standard user. So for administrative staff, we don't want to give them privileged access, but our development team, they need a privileged access to the machine. So you can set that one up to say, okay, they need to have a privileged access user account as administrator. So you can set that one up. So there's not one thing you have to be. You can set different profiles for the user. So that goes through the other profile, and also the enrollment process that you have, what the user see as enrollment process, right? In this case, we are saying the turn on the log. Yes, of course, show the device provision out of the box experience. Block the device because we don't want people to kind of play around with the device until we are set. And so on. And I apologize. I know we're going a couple of minutes over, but just want to show you this stuff. So you set all those stuff up front. Let me go to our configuration. As I said, we have a buffet of options, right? So this is all the configuration we create. And again, we're trying to kind of, as you can see, there are different policy types and so on. And if you look at the last modified things, we have things that was modified earlier this month. And this stuff hasn't been modified since 2021. Like a health monitoring, there's nothing changed since then. So again, you're constantly working on this one. Nothing, like you don't set this one up and it's done. So when you go to the policies, again, how do we handle Windows Hello? Health monitoring. How is the Wi-Fi setting is done? The new Outlook, by the way, which is kind of most confusing thing with the Outlook. It's called New Outlook, but that's the name of the product. It's not a new version of your Outlook. It's a whole different thing. So in some of our clients said, can we hide that? Of course we can. Anything you have a control to do from your device, we can manage that. A start menu, privacy setting, OneDrive, how the OneDrive set up. So that the user doesn't have to think. The autopilot goes through all these processes and does that. The other thing is very important to the manage updates for the devices. How we manage updates, I mentioned that for update ring, and okay, this is loading. So the future updates, how do we handle that? The quality updates, how we handle that? Driver updates, I mentioned that. And you can see there's a 54 drivers to review. So you can go through that and say, you know what, I like this idea. And you can approve it, and then you can say what time do you want to be pushing it, as easy as that. Basically what it does, the monitoring, check the hardware of your devices and recommend based on what is available, which is a fantastic feature. Next thing I want to touch quickly, applications, right? So application is great. So you have all this application you can push. Some of them are set to install right away. Some of them will be optional, which will be part of the company portal. So you can see I have a bunch of profiles, apps plus projects, app plus Visio and project and Visio. The reason I create all this different one is that because we create in a different policy, right? Here, when you go to property, I have a group called, this is a group name, software. So you can get really fancy with this stuff. So let's just go to group and look at this group for you. So when you look at this group, this is the one with the Visio. So as I say, what you do on a property, you create in a dynamic user group. And in the dynamic membership role, That's you set up this thing. Basically, what we're doing here is apps plus Visio plus project. Every application with a Microsoft, it does have a key. So you can look at the keys and add them accordingly based off the software you have, and you can build this. And if you go here, there's a page I'm gonna show you here, product name and service plan. So this is an extensive list of all the products and that exist and all the numbers for them that you can have. So again, there's a sea of the information there you can do. So again, it's Intune. The beauty of it is take advantage of your intra security, take advantage of your group, take advantage of the Microsoft subscription you have, and you can combine all those things. And that's what it is, a premium application for device management, because other devices, they would not be aware of your necessary your subscription you have, the security you have. If you disable the user on your intra, now you have to think, okay, where else I need to disable that? You don't have to worry about all those things. This happen all behind the scene, and go from there. And again, if I quickly touch on the iOS as well, you can see from configuration. So we do have a bunch of options for the configuration as well that you can do. And again, lots of options available. So basically, what Microsoft has done, everything is on your group policy. They have brought them over. Some of them might not be there as available as the UI thing, but what allow you to do, you can do a script and remediation. So platform script. So if you like your PowerShell and you want to push something to PowerShell, you can push those into PowerShell as well to the thing. So there's lots of flexibility if you want to do something specific. For the apps, I show you one other thing. If you do apps, for example, I'm going to use the TeamViewer. So TeamViewer, it does have a version called host version. That means the software get installed and the administrator could access that machine. But in order to do that, you need to push the IDs and so on. So that's, again, that feature is all available. So I can send command argument to devices and be able to part of my installation. Also, there's a packaging software available you can do. You can package the software with the Windows Builder that put all those things together. So become silent installation and go through all the steps that need to be so the user does not get prompted. So again, lots of flexibility on that side as well. So this was a super fast version of my demo for today. I hope you find it useful. Again, Microsoft Intune achieves seamless endpoint device management. You need a bit of upfront and legwork to get it up and running once it's done. Imagine, in a traditional way, if we didn't have images, how long would it take to set up a new machine? 3 or 4 hours, perhaps, to put everything. And from person to person, we all do it a bit different way. So there's no consistency with that. And then for myself, I've done. Sometimes I've done manual things and I forgot to enable that feature, and the device was already shipped already. So this is always going to be consistent experience, no matter who shipped that device, because again, all the setup and configuration built there. So again, thank you so much. I hope you find this beneficial. Our Solution for Success webinars runs third Tuesday of each month. We're taking a bit of summer break, but we're coming back in September again with embracing the future of the OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams, and farewell to the file server. And that's one of the things that we see with our clients. They're moving the stuff to the SharePoint. So we would love to see you there. That said, I'd be happy to answer any question you might have. You can unmute your mic, I'd enable the mics, and also you can put in a chat. I apologize we went a bit longer, but I appreciate your time. Again, if you need an extended version of this or you need more question that was not covered, those things, I'll be happy to give you an extended demo at a later time as well. Right, and also if you did enjoy the demo, please scan this QR code and leave us a review. And that would be highly appreciated as well. All right, if there's no question, that brings us to end. Again, I don't want to rush. Oh, there's a question here. Sorry, there is a, let me just check it out. All right, the question was that you could not hear me. Sorry about that earlier. All right. That's it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And again, hope to see you at our next event.